Hey there, loves. I see Barbara, Asia, and Latrice. Welcome, welcome. Y'all get to watch me work tonight. Gotta make sure that I get Natasha. Make sure you say a little something when you're online so I can see you. Oh, I'm sorry you're not feeling well today. Oh, but I feel great knowing that you called me your favorite. Thank you, love. So tonight y'all get to watch me work a little bit. I'm doing a magazine cover pretty much from scratch, but I'm showing you some of my process, which is probably very beneficial for you so that you get to see kind of what goes into it. And another thing is I kind of want to give you all an idea of when you say, hey, I want to do a one-on-one session or a design session with you, and I want to be realistic about the time that it takes to do it. So I usually tell you it's a 1 hour session if you want to modify a template. So yes, I call them 10-minute templates, but basically you're not just learning templates, you're learning strategies for fading off the images. You're learning where your tools are. You're learning your shortcut keys, all of those things in an hour session. And you end up with a finished design. And even if you're working from a template, I make sure that you have a finished design by the time we're done, even if I have to maybe go a few minutes over. So that's a 1 hour session. If you want to design from scratch, like I'm doing right now, it's a minimum, and I'm not going to say a minimum. It's an average or a guaranteed. Let me tell you, it's a guaranteed 2 hours because you're learning basics and you're learning design skills. Now, design skills and Photoshop skills are not necessarily the same thing. You're learning how to Photoshop, how to use the tools, but the design skills you're also learning at the same time. Maybe placement, how to use your text, and typography and font, all of those things you're getting bound up into one class whenever you're doing the classes with me. Okay, so I did also want to ask your opinion. So today is Tuesday. I wanted to do a trial class, okay, for this Thursday. So that's in 2 days. I want to do a trial class, and I'm going to pick a template that you all are going to modify, but it's not just modifying the template. So I want you all to go on the Innate Creatives group and tell me, and it doesn't have to be a template that I created. It could be something that you've seen before and you want to know how to recreate it. That's fine too. It's going to be a 2 hour class on Thursday. I need you to post what you want to learn. I don't care if it's my image or not, that's fine. Tell me what you want to learn, number one. Number two, I want you to tell me, let's see, and what time. So what you want to learn and what time is good for you on this Thursday, like within 2 days. Okay, so we're going to do a class together, and it'll be on Zoom. You'll be able to show your screen. I'm going to recommend that you have two screens, one that you can view me on, even if it is like a tablet or something external, and then one that you can work on. Okay. T-Pain says, I want to learn everything. Well, everything you'll learn. If you want it, you'll get it. I promise you that. And it may not necessarily come at one time, but if you want something, I promise you, you know how we are when we want something, especially as creatives. We're going to find a way to create it. Okay. So definitely, what's up, Q? So definitely make sure that you let me know what you want to see, number one, and I'm gonna take heed to that tonight because tonight I have to choose my Photoshop freebie winners. I have to choose my ink winners, and then I'm going to choose what we're gonna do for Thursday's class. So this is gonna be fun. All right, so y'all keep that in mind. I'll post something about it later so you all can remember what I said. But I just want to know two things. What do you give me a photo example of what you want to learn? My template. It can be my template, or it can be something that you found off the internet. I don't care. And then the second thing is, what time are you going to be available? Because I want to make sure that I have the class at a time where most of y'all can come to it. So usually I do things around like 8 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So y'all can let me know if that's a good time or if your brain's too pooped by that time and you want to do a little earlier, 7 to 8 type of deal. It's going to be a 2-hour long class. I guarantee you that. Okay. And I'm going to do something special. I'm going to make the 2-hour long class just be $20. Because I want to see what you all really need to learn. So this is going to be like my test class. Okay. Oh, I see, Asia. I see you telling me you hope to be one. Fingers crossed. I'm actually looking forward to that. So I'll be going through that list tonight. All right. So y'all didn't come here to hear me talk. Y'all came here to watch me work. So, like my daddy would say, I can show you better than I can tell you. So let's go ahead and get into this design. I'm going to show you what I, kind of found, say, as my inspiration. I said, okay, well, I want to do a magazine that kind of looks like Sports Illustrated. This particular magazine layout is going to be for an athlete. However, it doesn't have to be an athlete because when I put my own words on there, I'm putting Seniors Illustrated. Okay. Yes, I will have a link for you to purchase for the class, and then it will have the link where you're going to go to for the Zoom class. So make sure that also, this is the other thing, so that we're not spending any time making sure everybody can kind of get in. Make sure that you have Zoom downloaded onto your computer and that your Photoshop is good, ready to go. You don't have to renew a license or anything like that during the class. Make sure all that's ready to go. And the first thing that we're going to do is make sure that your workspace looks like mine. So a lot of people have been wanting to know how to do that. We're going to do that together. Okay, so even if you don't do anything but get $20 out of it to learn how you should set things up and what you should be looking at, you're going to do it in real time with me. And then if you have issues, you can show me your screen and we'll all be able to see everyone's progress together. Yes, you have to have Photoshop before the class, unless some people just want to be a part of the class so they can watch. That's fine too. You just won't be able to, in real time, do the work. And I really want you to be able to do the work. If you want to sit in on the class and pay the money to sit in on the class, that's fine. At the end of it, I will give you a recording of the class. So we'll have it as a private link. Don't share it because you're giving away information that you're paying for. So don't do that. Keep it to yourself because this is something that you've earned, and we'll work it like that. So I will have it listed as a video that you can come to, but it will be a private video that only you should have the link and access to if you went to the class. Okay. Okay, Sandra, it's going to be Thursday. I'm going to ask you what time though. So tell me what you want to create. Two things I need you to do. Tell me what you want to create. Show me an example of what you want to create, and tell me what time. And Veronica, I'm looking forward to you being there because I'm telling you, you're gonna rock this program out. I know it. Okay. All right, so if y'all have questions, y'all feel free to ask me. This is just a watch me work video. We don't have to be too technical. Y'all are here, I'm here. We're just working it out together right now, so we're good. All right, cool, cool, cool. All right, so let's see what we have going on here. Right now, I just made my text hot pink because I have text already on here, and I was just trying to see what I wanted to put on there. And I have an alternate design too. Looked up the Success magazine. I tried to find two different types of magazine layouts. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put a background on here. And a lot of times you'll notice that the background for magazines will be, very simple. This has like a little bit of a gradient, a little I think it's called a vignette around the edge there. So let's see if we can recreate that. First things first, I'm going to do a new layer. So I'm going to do a fill layer. And let's do a gradient. And it says use previous layer to create a clipping mask there. No, we don't need that. We're going to just do a full new layer. And in this case, I'm going to kind of mimic this right now. Because the best thing to do if you're learning how to design is really it's reverse engineering things, okay? How do I make what I see? That's the easiest way to learn how to design, because you have something already visually stimulating to you and you're trying to figure out how to recreate that. So I'm going to see if I can make this a circular gradient or a radial gradient, right? So instead of linear here, I'm going to go to radial. And that's about what I want to see. But in my image, I had a lighter design on the inside. So I'm going to delete that color stop there. Lighter color on the inside. And then it sort of faded out to the darker color, right? And let's just say that's it. Let's just claim that is it for right now. So what I'm going to do is turn it off and see if I have it. And I didn't even choose the colors from the magazine, but I could have. Now what I'm going to do here is probably choose the colors that best fit the school. And we'll do that in just a moment. So now I'm going to turn back on my text. And my text is real crazy right now because it's in this hot pink color. Because if it's hot pink, I know I have to touch it. I have to touch it in order to get it right. If I make it all white or black right now, it might say something crazy and I won't know to touch it. So in my head, when I see a crazy color, I know I have to do something to it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on this one. And then by the time Natasha joins us, she'll be able to give me the details as far as the name of the school and all that good stuff that goes with this design. So right now, I need to get my photos together. And at the moment, I have quite a few photos, so I have to decide what photos we're going to use. I'm going to use Remove BG to get the background out of the images here. And for one, I'm going to go drop this one in, see how it does. Oh, it couldn't identify between the foreground and background. And this is actually a high resolution photo, but it has so much stuff going on in the background, I can understand why on that one. So let's see what it does for this one. This one did all right, making sure I didn't cut off any extremities, no fingers missing, perfect. And let's grab this one. So we have football, baseball, like that. And then this one, I'm going to see if I'm going to use it as a PNG or if I'm going to put it in that square. And see how nice of a job it did cutting out the hair? When you have a high resolution image, I cannot stand these cutout programs that really don't do justice to textured hair. So I'm getting this right here and I'm loving it. It's even hard for me to put the texture back into the hair and to clean that up with the quick mask tool. So I'm good with that. Let me see if I want to use a smiling football picture or the non-smiling. The smiling one looks good. And I might decide to change these out. But right now I'm just pulling in to see what my images are going to look like. And I'm kind of imagining my composition right now. So I'm thinking that I'm definitely going to do the baseball image and see how it cut out the white right there in the back or whatever that highlight is. I'm going to go to edit that and bring that part of the image back. Restore, restore, make that brush size a little bit smaller and see what I'm missing out on. Now, it shouldn't have cut that out, but I understand. And now that looks pretty good. Let's see, am I missing anything here? Not really. Just make sure I'm not missing anything major. Okay, so I think I can go ahead and download this one. That's one. And we'll download one of the football photos. Let's close out of this one. And both of my football photos are white. I was hoping I have a contrast in uniform, but I do want to show the football uniform. That's fine. We'll go with the white. And what do y'all think? The smiling photo or the serious photo? I'm going to let y'all help me decide. Natasha, hey love. I was just talking about you. All right, so which photo do you want to see? The serious football photo or the smiling football photo? Smiling. Okay, so you're with me. I think that's just you know, a kind of proud woman thing, like, you know, see black men smiling. I love it. So let's download it. Let's get it. All right, so let's drag. Now we're gonna drag the image. I can drag, you see right down here from the bottom of my window, I can drag it straight from there. I don't even have to go to the folder, and I can bloop, drop it. Now, right now it's dropping it below my gradient layer, but I know it's there, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit enter. I can drag it above it so I can see it. And now I know that one's in there. Let's go ahead and grab our other photo. Same thing. Drag it and drop it like it's hot onto the artboard. And there we have it. Now, here's the thing too, when you're doing like a tall design, right? The more images that you put kind of going side to side, you have to shrink them and make them a little bit smaller. So we're going to keep that in mind too. And I kind of like for my images to look, if they're going to be side by side, I like them to look like they're the same scale. So I'm usually looking at like a person's face and seeing, okay, where do the eyebrows versus the chin start? And that kind of gives me an idea that it's about the same size, right? And y'all already know we're not going to stick with these hard edges and stuff. We're just trying to pull in the images. Now, I had one more photo. Oh, yes, one more photo. Because with the cover design, you don't want it to be too busy. But this one I liked because it had the ring in it. So I'm going to go ahead and, you know what? Did I download the high resolution or not? We'll see in just a moment. If it says preview, then I'm tripping and I didn't download the right one. This one, does this one say preview? Nope, it says remove BG, so that's not the preview one. All right, yes, because it should have came in much bigger. So let me go and get my bigger ones. And I'll show you the difference. As a matter of fact, I'll keep this one on here. And I'm going to zoom in, and you'll see, hopefully you'll see the difference in pixels there. Otherwise, they've been duping me this whole time. But no, I can usually tell the difference between the high resolution. That's why I was a little... Okay, the interface has changed. All right, so yes, it used my credit. That's fine. That's what they're for. So 1, download this one, 2, and let's download this one. Okay. And now as I bring this in, we can almost instantly see the difference in quality. So it came in a little bit bigger. If I press enter, we get a little bit better quality. If I was to blow that other one up, you would start to see the pixels a little bit more. But for the purpose of this magazine, even the low resolution ones will still work. They're good pictures. And that's what you really have to start off with, good photos. So trash in is going to be trash out. No matter what you do to it, you can try to make it look as good as you want. But if you start with quality, you have a better chance of ending with quality. All right, let's go ahead and grab our other one and drop it on the artboard. There we go. And I have one more. Oh, I think I had already put this one on there. All right, so I'm going to use this one as my little accent photo that I might put in that little square right there. That's what I was thinking. And I'm going to drag this above my square or my rectangle. And you know, one thing I like to do, even if I have a box, instead of putting something in the box, I like to make it stick just outside, or at least part of it stick outside of the box. That's just my thing. But this one, you know what? This one already has the top of his hair cut off. So I'm gonna make it simple for you all. I'm gonna go ahead and put him in the box. But y'all know me, I'll do some little extra stuff. But a magazine cover would typically have this clean line into the box. So the way that I put this into the box is above my rectangle. And let me go ahead and look at my comments just in case y'all gonna be asking any questions. Let me bring it back. There we go. Okay, so the photo is on top of the shape. Anything that you have here that you want to clip it to, you're gonna right click on the image that's above, go to create clipping mask, and bam, it clips it right down into that shape. Now, it could be a shape there, it could be a logo that was there, anything that you would have there that had any type of contour, it would clip it to that contour, including text. Okay, and that's how you get photos to clip inside of the text. Okay, it's called a clipping mask. All right, so I got that photo clipped in there. Let's see. So, Natasha, did you get any information on whether you want to see? Oh, geez, Louise, something going on. Okay. Did you get any information on whether you want to see like accolades on here, what school he's going to, anything like that that we could use as information? Okay, you said you emailed it to me. Perfect. Let me go ahead and check that out. Ooh, awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. Amazing stuff. So, United States Naval Academy. Awesome. And I saw some photos on that too. Now, here's the thing with the magazine cover, it can get really jumbled if we do too many photos. So, I think I saw something that had his Navy uniform, maybe with mom and dad on the picture. So, I'll find a way to incorporate that. But I know for a fact we're going to get a little crazy on here. So let's see. Let me first see if I can go ahead and resize these images just to see what we're going to have. And for me, I like for the photos to pop over the words, just like in the most Sports Illustrated covers, they have the photos that go over the text. So I'm going to drag this up over my text. There we go. And then some of the text will, of course, be on top of this. But for right now, I want to see how the image looks going over it. And you may need to leave yourself some bleed room around these edges. You never want to design right up into the edge. And you know what? I forgot that I have to add that image back into the background. And the good thing about it is usually I don't think it charges me another credit if I edit the image and then download it again. So let's do that. Let's restore. I keep trying to control plus like I do in Photoshop. That doesn't work on here. Let's add that back. Like I said, I typically don't like this program for adding and removing, but I think the once it tries to cut it out, I think it looks a little weird when you use this erase and restore. But for this, the purpose of the bat is fine. I just don't like it when I'm cutting out like faces and that sort of thing. I don't yet like to use that tool. Now I'm thinking, did it do the preview again? Yep, see it did the preview. Let me close out of this and see why. It normally allows me to edit it and then download the full resolution. So I think, okay, edit, I have an option out. See, they changed their interface over like within the last couple of days. So now I can edit the high resolution. There we go. Let's go ahead and do this one more again. Add that back. And of course I need to change my brush size. This will be much easier to do if you were using a stylus or a tablet or something to that degree. And now I can download the high resolution version of it with the bat still intact. Drag and drop it. There we go. So now I'll delete the one that has the part of the bat missing. Let's go ahead and delete that one. There she goes. And even with this, I should have just added more and then came in and did what I wanted to do. So I'm not exactly impressed with that little cutout there, not with the transition of it. So I'm going to feather it just a little bit, maybe 2 pixels, and say okay. And see what this looks like if I delete that out. Oh, it's a smart object, so let me go ahead and just make a layer mask. And I don't want to do it from there. I want to do a layer mask from here, and I'm going to go to hide selection. And I probably could have feathered that a little bit more to clean that up. But to me, that looks much better than that little roughness that I saw before. All right, so let me zoom out, make sure we look good. The back picture will be behind the football picture. And then I'm going to decide if I want to do, I think I'm going to do a layered look instead of trying to do them side by side. Then I won't feel so guilty about having to make my photo so much smaller. There we go. Make this one just a little bit smaller. There we go. Okay. So what else do we have here? We're going to do Naval Academy. Let me see what photos I have for that. Ah, I do have the photos. Let me see. I have mom and dad. Let me do remove BG and we'll bring this image over. Get out of here. All right, so let's drag and drop. Yeah, that'll make a good image. So let's go ahead and download that one, high resolution. And like I said, this is why you want to charge more for more photos. The more that you have to cut out and figure out how you're going to place it, you spend much more time. If this was a single photo project, you can usually one and done, have it done in less than 10 minutes. Maybe for something like this, you're doing a little more typing. It might take a little longer than 10 minutes. But the big thing is when you're, oh, I love this just as a photo by itself. So the big thing is the more time you take, you want to make sure that you're being compensated for your time. So I'm going to I'm going to treat this as if it is like a side story. You know how sometimes I have the side stories. And we'll say like a little caption for that. So maybe this one will or won't make it. I don't know, but I'm going to go ahead and link those. So I'm selecting both of them and I'm hitting the link here. And that way they move together. So maybe we use it, maybe we don't. We'll turn it off for right now, just so we can see what our layout looks like. Because we have a lot going on here. Let's do family photo now. Just move it a little bit lower. As a matter of fact, see how this image is cut off here? Instead of fading it, I can put it right behind the barcode. Here we go. And this is starting to look like a real Sports Illustrated. All right, so Seniors Illustrated. I'm kind of happy with where that is, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it white. Senior and where's my Illustrated? Oh, duh, I can just right click and find it too. I'm going to drag this below the Illustrated and I'm going to go ahead and select both of those. Right now they're pink. I'm going to go ahead and make them white and say okay. And already we start to get our little look going on here. Let me go ahead and activate our Sports Illustrated here just to kind of see, because I know I do all the extras like drop shadows and all of that. But typically on the magazine designs, they're very clean, very flat text, not a lot of action going on, as you can see. This was an issue from 2018, so it's not like it's super old or anything, like they've changed their style. So for this one and for our Success magazine, inspiration, I think they all use flat color. Most magazines are going to do that. They're going to use flat color and contrast. So you're going to see whites against blacks, or whites against really bold colors. You're not going to see like a white text on a yellow background. Not most of the time. You want things that have high contrast that you see really well. So I think we're going to keep with the theme, and we're going to keep it clean, which is really not like me. You know, I like to do metallics and drop shadows and all of that, but we want this to look authentic, right? Okay, so I'm thinking that the class of 2020, that looks good as is. I can go ahead and make that white, but I'm going to bring it behind the Seniors Illustrated. And as a matter of fact, I think I'll make it gray or another color. So class of, let me right click and make sure I have the right class of. Then I can shift and right click and grab this little rectangle. And I'm going to go ahead and group those. So we'll call this the dashed rectangle and text. Let's go ahead and open up that folder now. And I can add an effect to this whole group, but I think I can just as well, I'm going to try it in a gray. And for the rectangle, I have a color that I can choose for it, and it's the stroke. So in order to change the properties of the rectangle, I can go over here to my properties. If you don't see it, you can go to Window and Properties. Window, I just made mine go away. Properties, and it'll pop up for you if you didn't already see it. So I'm going to go to my outline here and change the color, and it's going to my recently used colors, and lo and behold, it's the same color I just used. So perfect there. I'm going to go ahead and take this dash rectangle text and move it below my Seniors Illustrated. So we have that kind of layered look there. And same thing here, June 2020, I'm okay with that. I'm going to Control T. I might make it exaggerated a little bit. And I don't typically like to stretch my text out like that, but in this case, I just wanted to see it look a little more substantial. In this case, I'm going to grab one of these darker blues here, because it looks like the navy has the blue too, so the blue is probably going to be our theme. You know what? Before I do that, let's change our background gradient, because I'm not going to leave it this teal color. So let's see how we'll change that, and that will dictate what we do with the text. So the lighter color, let's choose a lighter color after we choose our darkest color. So the darkest color is going to be like this navy, and I'm just using my image to kind of pick a color from here. And that looks like a really good dark navy. So the next color, I'm going to try to pick a little bit lighter color. And I can also modify the color. If I click on the swatch and I say, oh, it's not quite light enough, I can kind of lighten it up manually, and it gives me that glow that I'm looking for. And already it's starting to come together. Now next, let's see, we have a lot of information here in the text area. Let's see what we want to keep and what is not going to be important to us. So definitely this 12th edition. I want this above the photo. Or you know what? I will keep it where it is. I'm just going to move it over here to the side. Now really this is where it comes into play that whatever photo you're using, you're going to make sure that you modify your text appropriately. So we'll go back for a second. The Sports Illustrated cover is just white and gray. So I'm going to keep going to this one because I see a little pop of color, and I think we might do like a little bit of a pop of color. And maybe the gold, because like the navy is gold, or we already have the gray. So I'm thinking the gold, because in the navy photo, we have a little bit of gold. So maybe I'll do a little pop of gold somewhere. And everything else will just be white and gray. So let's say the 12th edition. Let's make that, and I kind of have the gold hidden there. So I'll kind of make a gold that I think is appropriate. It's like a Vegas gold. And you can also, if you know what Vegas gold hex codes are or the CMYK numbers, um, you can use that. Hex is probably, matter of fact, I can show you. If you're looking for a team, maybe we'll find it. Let's look up Navy football and hex. Most teams have hex color codes. They have Pantone color codes, all of that. So let's see. There goes navy and gold. I think that's it. And all we have to do is take this hex code and copy. Go back to Photoshop and paste that here. Now, I wasn't very far off, but that's the navy gold, or the navy's gold, not the navy gold. All right, so that, yeah, I like that gold. That gold kind of gives it a little bit of pop. I like that. So for the June 2020, I'm gonna let that be white. I don't want it white or gray. Maybe a lighter gray. But you don't want too many colors going on. Usually magazine covers are very, very simple. That's why it's hard for me to design them, to be honest with you. I'm not, as you can see, a very simple design person. So I tend to put a lot more thought into it than I probably should. So to June 2020, we'll do it in the gold. And if we end up with too much gold, then we'll start taking some gold out and making it either white or gray. So we have the name of the school. So we can put the name of the school up here instead of 2020, or we can put the class of 2020 up there. So we'll see what other information we have. So let's go back to the information. So we can put like a little sticker or something on here. We can put let's do these accolades as if they're like kind of sub stories. So for a second, let me turn down the opacity of the images because we kind of know where our image placement is. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to bring the opacity down so we can kind of see where our text is. And then I'm going to take the images and bring them all the way to the back. All right, and Natasha, if you don't mind, I don't have the gentleman's name, so if you can type that either in the chat or email it to me. Hey, Amina, you made it. Yes, the Photoshop version I'm using is Photoshop CC, and I believe it's the updated one, which would be like 2020. You know, it updates every time you let it pretty much get online. Right, got it. So last name. Now the way I did this, I kind of want it to be a little different with the way the name was. So we'll see if it works. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then I'll make sure it works. And what I have right now, if you notice, you know how I like to use layer mask. So I have a layer mask. This is just regular Bebes New font here for the text. And then I have a layer mask on it that pretty much cuts out like a little rectangle out of the font. So depending on what I'm doing, I might need to move my little cutout section. Because see, when I put it exactly in the middle, I kind of cut out that H, and I don't like that. So I think maybe I'll put it above here. And we can choose whether we want to put the last name or the first name in the back or front. And usually like athletes are kind of, they throughout their lives they're going to be known by last name. In military too, he's going to be known by last name. So that's why I chose to put last name as the bigger name. But you can choose whatever you want to put there, last name or first name. Okay, now his shorter first name. So in order to make that work, what I do is I change the spacing in between the letters. Right now it's at 800. Let me put it at 1500. And of course we'll change these colors too. I'm just doing right now, trying to see what makes it look visually pleasing. All right, so I'm going to do, since this is on top, I'm going to do the name maybe in the navy. Let's see. Shoes. Color here. And since I never chose what my navy color will be, this is going to be interesting to see what navy I'm choosing. And these are very dark, so I might kind of manually choose one that works a little bit better. And let's see, first name, let's do it in white. Then if I have to do something to it, I will. Now keep in mind the photo is going to be here, so the white might not work. Let me put it in the gold. I know I said I wasn't going to overuse the gold, but I could also make it the same color. All right, so I think I like the white. We'll see if we can make that stand off. If it doesn't stand off, then we'll do something about it. So the name of the school right now is it Gulliver, like high school? Because I keep seeing Gulliver. So copy, and I'm gonna put the name of the high school. Right click, name of high school, and let's just change the name there. And this one, let's make it gray. Do U.S. Naval Academy for the school here. Now Gulliver team MVP is at the football. I'm assuming that'll probably be the football team, but I guess it doesn't matter. We just put MVP because I have to find little short ways to make it. So we have the United States Naval Academy. Let's see. I'm gonna go for a second back to the success layout. And what we're going to do is kind of identify, see how they use bold and then not bold, or use a serif font with a sans serif font. That's what I have this up for. I don't have it up to exactly make something the way it is, but it gives you an idea how to do your typography, your layout, that sort of thing. Here it has the color text and then the white text. So we might use our gold color with the serif font and then do a sans serif font. So all this is doing is giving us a little opportunity to see how a layout might go. So in this case, I'm going to try this with Gulliver Raider Pride Achievement Award. I'm going to take that. And this time I'm going to make a text box. Oh, I guess it already has some text below that. pretty much anywhere I type right now is going to have some text. So let me turn off my text so that I'm not clicking on anything. I want to straight up draw a box. All right, so in here, I'm going to paste the contents, and let's bring this above everything else so I can see what I'm typing. And let's say we're just going to make this 12 point for the time being, and we'll just inch it up. And one thing that actually one of you in the group showed me for Photoshop, if I hover over the T tool here at the top bar, it turns into a slider that I don't even have to click on the slider to get to it. All right, so I wanted to say, I'm going to do Gulliver, Raider, Pride. And maybe Raider and Pride can be on the same line. And then Achievement Award I'll do as the secondary text. So let's go ahead and center all of that. So I'm using my little option at the top to center. You can also go to your paragraph and choose to center align the text. And then let's go ahead and change the spacing. And I'm going to move this away from what we're looking at right now just so we can get an idea. Let's see, Achievement Award. I'm going to take that off because I want it to be its own text box. So I don't have any issues with typing and then part of the text is in one font, the other part of the text is in another font. But I will Alt, I'll choose my move tool. I'm going to Alt, click, and drag. So it just made a copy of that. Then I can click inside of that second one and put my second text. And we'll do it and delete Raider Pride, that's already there. So for Achievement Award, let's find a font that's nice, clean, sans serif. Serif means that it has these little feet on it. Sans serif means without the serif or without the feet. So let's find us a decent little sans serif that probably, well, that will be a free font. So you can go on here and look for sans serif. I don't get a lot of options. Obviously, Photoshop is not really organizing all of my fonts by their attributes. But let's see, this one is Open Sans Condensed. I keep. Good. Okay, so I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, just a little bit. And see how now we're kind of getting that look of what we wanted, but it's not exactly the same. I will spend all day trying to find exactly the same font. And y'all, I know y'all know the pain. I don't like seeing something and it's not exactly like I see it, especially if I'm doing something like this. So I spend a lot of time looking for fonts. In this case, I'm going to reduce the spacing between lines here. So I'm going to come over here. It's on auto right now, and my point, the size of the font is 23 points. So if I want my spacing to be a little smaller than it is, I'm going to choose something less than 23. So I'm going to choose maybe 18, hit enter, and that brought it in. That brought it in a little too much. So now I'm going to try 21, maybe 22. And this is just something that bothers me. You do not have to do this. You can type however the text fits you. You can type exactly like that. I just felt like there's a little too much space there. So maybe we'll make that one our gold and this one our white. I'm not concerned about the colors right now as much as I'm concerned about making sure it conveys the message that I want. So for Achievement Award, we'll make it white. And I still think it should be a little bit smaller, the text size. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And I think what it is, it's a little bold. That's what it is. And I do like it on 2 lines, so I'll leave it there at 14 point. But I feel like this could be a little bit thinner font and it would kind of identify a little bit better for me what I want it to look like. But this is good. Let's see, anything else I want to take from here? I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Turn my text back on so I can see what I had going on. And then my Gulliver Raider Pride Achievement Award. If I want this to stay together, I can do a couple of things. I can put this in a group, and then this would be my Achievement Award group. But then you end up with a lot of folders and a lot of groups. So one thing you can do is just link them together. So I hit that link, and now they are buddies for life. So let's say that's going to be one, right? And we're doing these like they're news stories or like they're like newsworthy. So they're going to be their own things. And then I can alt click and drag another copy of this. And maybe this one will do, move these together. So we kind of did this setup, right? Or really we did more of this one where we did the contrast. So now maybe the next one, Gulliver Student Ambassador. Maybe we'll do this one where we still have the contrast in the different fonts, but not color. So let's grab Gulliver Student Ambassador. And we'll modify this text. So for the Achievement Award copy, I'm going to double click and just take out the word Gulliver. Double click is your friend. Double click on text is to select a single word, and triple click selects the whole line of text. All right, so now let's go ahead and make this a little bit smaller. So make it 12 points, see if that works for us. Perfect. And now Gulliver, we just need that top part. So we'll take off. Show you that triple click. They got the whole line. All right, so that was it. And you know what? I'll leave this so that you can do 2 lines of text, because sometimes you all ask me how to change the text box. And basically, if you double click on the T, you see how now it's a dotted line with the corners? You can expand this text box to be bigger. All right, so Achievement Award, I'm going to move closer. Lied. My Student Ambassador, I'm going to move closer to Gulliver. And if I want to keep these centered, I can choose these 2 objects here, these 2 items, layers, one. I'm holding down Shift to select the other one. And I'm going to make sure it's skewered down the middle here. And I call this skewered, I just think of like a barbecue skewer. And it skewers it down the middle, okay? I'm sure that's not the Photoshop term, but I'm sure you will never forget the term skewer, okay? Okay, Gulliver Preparatory School. Perfect, so I'll update that. Gulliver Prep, love it. Okay, so let's go ahead and make both of these white now. See, you have that question mark? It has that question mark because it's 2 different colors selected right now. All right, so we'll make it all white. So that will be our second version. All right, so we will link those 2. And right now I'm just going to move it out of the way. And so for the next one, what we'll do is we'll use the flat text. So let's take the Achievement Award, and I'm going to Alt click and drag. I guess it's a group, so it clicked and dragged it together. Now for this one, for the Gulliver Raider Pride, I'm going to delete that one. And I have the Achievement Award copy. So we're going to take one and stack on top of the other. I'm alt clicking and dragging. So when you alt click and drag, you notice that my arrow turned into a double arrow, a white black arrow. That means I'm going to duplicate something, okay? So let's see what other accolade we have. We have Excellence in Academics and Principal Leadership Award, and then I have SFC All Team Conference. Let's do that one. Now this is a lot of text, so we're going to see what we can cut out of this one. All right, so this is the top. I'm going to Control V to paste. So SFC All Team Conference, I'm going to let that be all that's at the top. And you can tell when there's extra text because that turns into a plus sign down there. So when you clean it all up and there's no longer a plus sign right there, I probably should have just expanded this and cleaned it up and then made it smaller. And you can turn out your, if you don't like things to be hyphenated and you have these text box, go up here to, what is it, your paragraph. And you have your properties here too. On your paragraph, go to your options here, and I believe it has hyphenation. Go to hyphenation, turn it off, unless you want to see your words hyphenated. I can't stand to see too many words hyphenated. It drives me crazy. Let's see. So what I was attempting to do for this one is to do a bold and then a skinny. But this font is already kind of bold, so let's see what happens when we make it bold. And we can do a faux bold here in Photoshop, that T that looks a little bit fatter. It doesn't really do much. So let's do this. Let's undo the bold that we just did. And we're going to find us a thinner font here for the Achievement Award because I want to see that difference. So Open Sans, there we go. Well, I thought it would look different. Oh, it's on bold, so let's take bold off. So let's do regular. That's it. Thank you, thank you. I would even do that to these. So let me take, I didn't know it had a bold. I sound like the Campbell soup commercial. I didn't know there was chicken in this soup. Let me grab both of those and take it off of bold. Oh, the lies you tell. That one only has bold. So if I go to Open Sans regular, I have options. But on the Open Sans condensed that I had, I did not have options. That's why I did not think there were options. So let's go regular. Yes, I like that. Student ambassador. So now I'm hyphenating again. Let me not do that. No hyphens. Not on my cover. There we go. Achievement Award, same thing. Let's go ahead and change the font to Open Sans. And, I changed it to Bing White. Achievement Award. Stop playing with me and let's go. Oh, I chose light. Light is a little too light though. Regular. Regular is where it's at. So now that's going to be, and I think that's a standard font that's on most computers, Open Sans. Okay, so that looks good to me. So it was SFC All Team Conference, First Team, and Student Athlete Leadership Council for football. Oh, okay, so SFC is going to be All Team Conference, First Team. So All Team Conference and First Team is, can I just say SFC All Team Conference, or is the first team like really significant? Let me know. If the first team is really significant, then I'll put it on there. So as a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and put it as the subtext. So this is our subtext here where it says Achievement Award. And I'm going to change this to Open Sans with the bold. There we go. Okay, it is significant. Okay, great. So I put first team on there. All right. So we'll group those. So SFC All Team Conference, first team, we're going to link those. So now that's a set. And as you can see, we're kind of building up our little sets of things we're using now. So 1, 2, 3, and those are the same styles. You see they use these dividers here. I don't see this quite often on like Sports Illustrated, but I do see these kind of images that are very simple but break up your text. So we may use some of these dividers here. You can simply create them with the rectangle tool. There we go. And let's say we're going to create a vertical one. There we go. And that's just for us to kind of have for later. And we'll change the color of those. As a matter of fact, while I have them here, I'm going to make them a strange color so I remember to change them. We'll make it that hot pink color again so I don't forget about it. All right, so let's go ahead. We kind of got our gist. If you look at something too long, you'll try too hard to replicate it, or I will. I'm saying you will, but it's me. All right, so let's see. We're already looking like we have a good layout going. Now we have to figure out where to fit all this stuff. So let's take this little dotted box here. I like the idea of it. So maybe we can use that to highlight something. Let's see, we're still missing some other information. So we have Gulliver Team MVP. So let's put that maybe in the box here. And I'm going to use the Gulliver Raider Pride version. Take that, Alt, click and drag. And some of you, you may not have this many things to highlight, so you'll just turn those layers off. Let's see, Gulliver Raider Pride. We're gonna say MVP. So this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this opposite. So I'm going to put Gulliver Team in the white, and then I'm going to let the MVP, even though it's the second line, I'm going to let it be bigger. Because you make up your own rules. Select it all. Stop playing with me, Photoshop. Okay, so Gulliver Team is going to be smaller, and then MVP is going to be more significant. Right click. Oh, I got to get it out of my text box. All right, and then even MVP is even going to be larger. So I'm going to come up here up top and just make it stand out. Perfect. And then I'm going to put Gulliver Team on top now. So now I have the lighter color and then my pop color underneath it. Let's take these two, let's link them. They will be traveling together. And that's probably graduation date. You may want to put that on there. Oh, do you know what he's going to school for? Like what he wants to do? Because I'd like to incorporate that if we can. I have future entrepreneur here, but might be future doctor, future sports broadcaster, whatever he's going to school for. Or we can just put major that he's going to school for. But then, if you think about it, it's kind of speaking into existence. So I like the idea of putting future in whatever discipline he's going into. And it makes them think too, because everybody wants to ask you what your major is. The idea is, what is it that you actually want to do? Because you can major in something and be not what you want to do. Trust me. Been there, done that. All right, so if I want to make sure that all of this is centered, guess what we're going to do? I'm going to take that rectangle. I'm going to put the rectangle with my MVP text. Where's my MVP? Right there. So I'm going to take the Gulliver Team MVP. I'm going to control and select the rectangle. And I'm going to skewer that down the middle. So basically it aligned that from the center. All right, and let's see, I have honors grad on here. That was something. So Gulliver Team MVP, I'm going to go ahead and make these my colors that I'm going to make them so that I know that it's pretty much colored and done. So for this pink, I'm going to do the gold. And then for the box, maybe I'll do the box in gray. Rectangle, let's Choose the color. Oops, I'm not on the rectangle. In my rectangle color. We're not changing the color of the rectangle. The rectangle fill is actually transparent. And then the stroke is what I'm looking at. I'm going to change to the gold. I think it's that gold there. I mean the gray, that gray there. So then we get the little dotted line here, dotted line here. Kind of anchors that. What else? What else? What else? And okay, we kind of see the Gulliver preparators that are going to be there. So that kind of speaks for itself. And it's got his name there. And we see the little Nike check. So what I want to do for here where it says strike, 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 I think that's where I'm going to put future whatever. So if you can get that from mom, then that would be great. Good, Sandra. So you can come back and revisit this later. Now this is how I'll have this as a template for you all, but like I said, a lot of times y'all want to see how we're creating from scratch, and this is it. Uh, Engineer. Okay, so cyber operator engineer. Awesome. So instead of putting like future, I'm just gonna put, because that's a long line, I'm just gonna put cyber operator engineer, and people will get it because that's the college and that's the career. Yay, another engineer. I'm all about my I guess I could say STEAM because art is a part of it too. My STEAM disciplines, but especially I have a little soft spot for engineering. All right, all right. So now we have, let's see if we have all of our information. We have, oh, we don't have all of our information. And this is what's so hard. I'm going to tell you, a great a great scholar and athlete is really hard to do this type of thing for because it's so much information to put. But that's a good problem to have. So we're just going to make sure that we solve the problem, make it look good no matter what, right? Let's see. So let's do. I'm trying to think where I want to put this next set, or how I want to do it. I think we'll do another one like the contrast here. Do another one like that. And let's see. Student ambassador. We got that. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to copy and paste this and then basically knock out, like take off what we've already done. U.S. Naval Academy, done. Awards, we have Gulliver Team MVP, done. SFC All Team Conference First Team. So Student Athlete Leadership Council is a whole nother thing, right? That's a whole nother thing. Get Gulliver Raider Pride Achievement Award. That is done. Gulliver Student Ambassador is done. So we have two more long text things. We have Student Athlete Leadership Council, and it says for football. And then I have Excellence in Academics and Principal Leadership Award. So let's go ahead and knock out the award, because we'll keep it with this. So Gulliver Raider Pride Achievement Award. So we'll keep the award the same. Do Excellence in Academics and Principal Leadership Award. I'm going to copy all of that, and then we'll decide what's going to go at the top line, what's going to go at the bottom. I am going to put everything as the bottom line first. And this is what I was saying, you can make the text box bigger to see everything. So let's do excellence in Here, I'll take the word excellence out, right? You kind of have to pick and choose because it's really arbitrary, but it has to make some sense. So excellence is a good word to pull out. Excellence. Oh, you know what? Because I already copied it that had a layer style, it's going to copy that layer style with it. So I'm going to copy the word excellence from the email instead that doesn't have any style to it. And then that way it keeps the original font there. So that works for me. All right, and then this is where we might end up using those dividers. So United States Naval Academy. I may make that a little bit shorter. Excuse me, loves. U.S. Naval Academy. Let me know if that's disrespectful for me putting U.S. in. I don't want to infringe on that, honorable system. So if I'm doing it wrong, let me know. I really care about how things are presented and perceived for the context. All right, so now I have a little more space I can play with laying out like this excellence here. Is it linked? It is not linked, so let me link it to the in academics together and link. So we have one. Now let me grab this little divider here, place it there. And as a matter of fact, you know what? The pink kind of sets itself off, or if it's going to be gold or whatever. So I'm going to keep those two awards together. I will use the divider to separate the clean line images. So we have another one. We have SFC All Conference, first team, bam. And then I have one more to do. It is Student Athlete Leadership Council for football. So this is what I will do. I will take this one and duplicate it above. So we break it up by style and with the little rectangles here. You want to give it a little space. And I'm getting dangerously close to this edge over here. I know we're going to print it how we're going to print it, but if I was making this for print, I would not dare get this close to the edge because most of the time you're doing offset printing and they're going to trim that right off. However, this is for the most part for us, particularly doing t-shirt designs and placing on items that don't need a bleed, but keep that in mind. First team conference, SFC all team, or is it this one? It's this one. Let me go ahead and link those and let's change our text here. So this is going to say Student Athlete Leadership Council for football. And I think this is the last thing that has long text. Triple click, get it all in there. Let's expand it down, see how far we're coming. So we'll choose Student Athlete to take out. Control X. And I can't paste it because it's going to have the formatting from here. So I shall grab Student Athlete from my email instead. And I'm going to click on the move tool just to get out of that text box. And paste that here. Okay, there was just going to be Student Athlete, right? Yeah, so I don't need to expand that. I just need to get rid of the rest. And now maybe we can even make Student Athlete a little bit bigger. Oh, that's not how we make it bigger. To make it bigger, I actually need to get out of the text editing mode. That way when I Control T, now I'm making it bigger. But of course it's linked, so I would have to unlink it. So I click on the link again to unlink it. And then let's Student Athlete, make it a little bit bigger. And again, I can grab these two and skewer it down the middle. All right, so let's grab that rectangle, Alt, click and drag. That way I have two of them. All right, and then honors grad, I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of that because we have so many different little pop-ups now that we can choose any of those to make our point on any other student. All right, today. All right, so now I need to figure out where to place. And if you want to put a date, you can put June 2020. You can put the date up there at the top. I'm going to go ahead and delete that because we have that information now. We have class of 2020 information on here. I can delete that. So now it looks like we have just the required stuff. So now the point is to go ahead and make everything looks like it makes sense. So the U.S. Naval Academy, I'm going to go ahead and make that the gold color. And Cyber Operator Engineer, let's make that the white. If we have to change out any of these colors, we absolutely can. And what else are we doing? And of course, make a little barcode thing here and advertise. I'm going to advertise Innate Lab. Of course, you can make your own barcode. Go, I think I just did a barcode generator. Barcode generator. There you go, free online barcode generators. Now that's a QR code. I need a barcode. There we go. Now this is the one that I used. I used, oh, I think the letter N can't be used for this one. Let me see. Generate barcode. Okay. It was something that couldn't be used. Oh, I guess it can be used. So that generates a little barcode. You can even tell it how large or small you want it to be, and you can download it as SVG, that sort of thing. And I think you can even stretch these out. So let me download that one as SVG. I haven't tried this one. So we'll call this one Innate Lab Barcode 3. And it's an SVG, so when I bring it in, it's going to be, it should be vector editable. So this is a little bit longer one. Said if I wanted to still and create that barcode, get your advertising in. I still to this day, y'all have to tell me all the time, Shannon, you're not watermarking your stuff, and I do it because I forget. At the very last minute, I'm so happy to get a project done that the last thing that I'm thinking about is advertising, which shouldn't be. Because in the business that we're in, what you do to make it, I think I like the taller one. What you do to make your business stand out definitely matters. I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller. Well, I know why I had it like this because I was cutting off that little shoulder right there that's cut off. So we'll leave it big. I don't feel bad. That's the original size of it from the Sports Illustrated image. So I'll take that off, and I'm trying to see what I'm going to do with these two. I suppose I can just put one on top of the other, and it shouldn't be too distracting. We'll see when we bring the images back to full color or full opacity. We're going to see a lot change. And because these break up by color, I feel like I don't have to put that little divider in there. All right, so let's change the color of our rectangles. I'm gonna hold down Shift so I can grab more than one of these at a time. And also I'm grabbing the color. Well, no, I have to change the color of the shapes at once. So let's do that first. The shapes, let's make them gold. This is starting to come together. What do y'all think? Oh, yeah. All right, so yeah, if he has more awards than this, then we basically need to make a whole, and that's something you can do. You can maybe make a real book that has the inside pages and everything. So we're gonna put, okay, so we'll change it back to United States Naval Academy. It's gonna cover up the Gulliver on his shirt, but it's probably more important anyway to show that. So let me make sure I copy and paste as is because I don't like misspelling things on my own. Control C. Yeah, if you copy and paste what a client sends you, you never have to worry about being the reason why something is spelled wrong. And then when we're done with all of this, you guys remind me to do a spell check. I'll show you what a spell check is, okay? So it is about that time. I'm going to change the color here for the Gulliver Raider Pride and the Excellence. Oh, I need to hold down Shift. I'm sorry, I had down Control. All right, so each of those are selected now, or both of those are selected now. I don't know if I want to do, maybe I'll do the gray. No, I think we have to kind of do the gold to make it pop. All right, and then for the high school, it's called Gulliver Preparatory. That sounds really familiar. Is that in Florida? Because it sounds like where the state track meets and things are, something like that. I might be wrong. I've been a little bit of everywhere supporting the kids, so Lord knows if my mind is intact with the location of one of their events. All right, so preparatory school, I'm going to Control T, make that smaller. Yeah, and I think it produces some of the major best and major athletes as well. So yeah, absolutely. This is a big deal. All right, so let's bring these photos back and see what we're working with. So for the photos right now, I have them all with the lowered opacity. We're going to crank the opacity back up. And you see what I was saying, that we have too much going on. You don't really see the image behind it. So we're going to control that right now. So for the Seniors Illustrated, if I want the face to be in front of the text here, then I'm going to take the Seniors Illustrated 1 and 2. I'm going to group it. And I'm going to add a layer mask to it. Okay, so my layer mask, I want, and this is where you have to know where your photos are going to be, because once they're there, they're there. Um, you can still move it, but then you have to also move your mask, which gets pretty annoying. So I'm going to take my photo, and this will be the baseball photo, which is the one that needs to be overlapped. I'm going to click on the thumbnail, and see how it created these marching ants. Now these marching ants have selected the active pixels in that layer, and it's contoured it for me. So all I have to do now is go to my group here, and I'm going to call this the Seniors Illustrated title. And I'm going to use the black paintbrush So let's grab our brush. Make sure it's on black. Right now it's on a gray color. I want to make sure it's default black in the foreground. And I'm going to paint with that color on this layer mask. Okay? And if I start painting, you'll see the image come through. And I'm not actually deleting any pixels. I am creating a mask that only allows for part of the image to show through. So where the black is, it's going to conceal, and where the white is, it's revealing. So really, this image is behind the Seniors Illustrated, but because I painted the black on the word Senior Illustrated, it makes it look like it's in front of it. That's why I say you kind of have to know where this is going. Same thing with this other image. Our other image, if it's in the place that I want it to be, I may even bring it up a little bit. So I'm going to do Control D to deselect. I may bring this image up a little because if I want to see the Gulliver on the jersey just a little bit, maybe I want to raise that image. And I'm also looking at the image on the football. So that's good. Now I can click the thumbnail, see how it made marching ants around him. I'm going back to my Seniors Illustrated group. And then we're going to grab the paintbrush and paint with black on the mask layer. Now we don't want to see the marching ants because it's kind of confusing us. Control D, we take the marching ants away. All right, so let's see how we're going to make this other stuff stand out because the gold on the skin tone and the bat is, I'm kind of losing it. And of course, I'm definitely losing it, the text over the white jersey. So now maybe here we get a chance to change out our colors a little bit. So for the name, I like it being in white, but I think it needs to pop out a little bit. So I'm going to have to do it some kind of drop shadow or something. I'm going to change it to normal. See what I can see here. Bring this distance in, bring the size down, bring the spread in a little bit. And now, even though it's subtle, I can still see his name on there. And I may do the opposite with the dark colors. I might do a glow to it so that it pops out a little bit more. So I can copy this layer style, right click, copy that layer style. And now the problem is I have a layer mask on here. So doing a glow may or may not look good. We'll see in just a second. Paste the layer style. And then instead of the glow or the drop shadow being black, I'm going to make the drop shadow be white. And then it just kind of gives me a little bit more contrast. Let's see, for Gulliver Raider Pride, I'm going to have to change that out. That gold is touching the bat and his hand, and it's kind of getting a little murky. Let me see if I change it to the gray instead. Or let's change it to the white. So I'm trying to avoid putting drop shadows on stuff, but I just might have to do it. So let's right click and paste that layer style. And then for the drop shadow, I'm going to pull it in a little bit. Pull in that size. There we go. I'll say okay to that. Now I'm going to copy that layer style and paste it on the excellence. And I might go ahead and paste it on the student athlete. and all of our headers over here. So student athlete selected. No, I want to do shift, right click and select Gulliver, shift, right click and SFC team conference and paste a layer style on all three of those. And see how that made that pop out a little bit? I'm scooting those over a little bit. And obviously leadership was not linked. So I want to link these two. All right, we're getting somewhere. And the name of the school, I'll take that and paste the layer style there. And that one is not standing out to me as much. The gray and the black is kind of blending in some ways I don't like. So let's play with this shadow. And I'm just bringing it in a lot closer to the text there. Excuse me. And I think that looks a little bit cleaner, but it's still, I'm going to back it up a little bit just to make sure it makes sense to me. Same thing with this United States. I'm going to copy excellence and paste here. All right. And we'll make that title a little bit bigger there. And I think his ring is there, so I'm going to bring this down a little bit so we see his ring. And where dad's shirt cuts off there, I'm going to add a layer mask. I'm going to fade that off a little bit. So I'm grabbing the brush here right now. Do I have a soft brush or a hard brush? I have a soft one. And I'm just going to brush that off. I didn't need to go up there because my barcode is there. I just need to make it softer around the bottom. And I don't think the drop shadow mattered with this one because it's already on a dark background. So I'm going to clear the layer style because I don't need it on that one. All right, so things that are giving me issues right now. I'm going to say, oh, I don't see the text here. So this one, let's do the text in the navy instead. And now, because it looks so thin, we might have to use the semi-bold or the bold. Let's go with the bold there. And we'll inch it over just a little bit so that color and the text is not touching the color of the sleeve. All right, and this one. I want it not to blend with the back, but I also want to give it enough space. So because this one's wider, let's try bringing this one lower and this one higher. And then we can turn this text back to white. Put a drop shadow on it and that looks good. Looks better than, because this one had too much gold touching. Now for this one, for Achievement Award, we can do what we did before, which is turn it navy. and bold. And it's definitely busy, but it is getting the point across. So because this one is so busy, I'm thinking I might do the name differently. I'm trying to see if I need to reverse these colors here because it's not quite standing out like I would want it to do. Let's do outside of a drop shadow, let's do an outer glow. But usually an outer glow goes before a drop shadow. So I'm not going to do an outer glow. White's not going to work. Gold kind of gets lost. So let's do a gradient. But we'll do a simple one from black to white. And instead of reflected, we'll do linear. And I think I'm going to do no, even that's looking lost to me. Tell me what looks better on your screen when I make it white, gold, gray, or navy blue. And this is where I get caught up in the details because I am extremely strict on myself, like whether I like to let something go. So, all right, we're gonna do white, gold. I think gold is probably best. And then let me show you the gray. I don't see the gray where I can click on it, but the gray or the navy. Well, thank y'all. What do we want to do? Because I said I was going to use that gold sporadically, but I kind of got a little loose with the gold. But I think it brings the navy theme into it. So the gray. Okay. So let me pick, see if it'll let me pick that gray. I might be a little too close there. Gotcha. And then what I'm probably going to do is with that shadow, let me give it a little more push. And maybe I add a stroke and a shadow. So color, black, all the way down, say 2 pixels. Then it starts to look not so magazine, like professional magazine. Now there's a difference. We have our stuff that we like to create, and we put strokes and drop shadows on everything. But if you look at high end and like professional print media especially is very clean line, very simple, and it's usually because back in the day the processes wouldn't allow them to do a lot of crazy stuff. So the style has not changed. It's still very, very simple. Okay, so I'm gonna do gold. Let's do the gold. Let's cancel out of that. Let's do gold there. And then I'll pull that shadow out a little bit. Mhm. At a little distance. And I don't know, like I get confused on what spread and size do, so I play with it until I get it right. If I want it to be a sharper shadow, then I know I'm gonna pull one in farther than the other. And I think I might be looking at this thing too long too, because eventually you start to talk yourself out of stuff. Oh, they're extra. I feel you. I'm all the way extra. So yeah, most of the time, if you look at, matter of fact, I'll show you right now the cover for the Sports Illustrated. It has absolutely no gradients, no, drop shadows, none of that. Flat, clean lines. Same thing for this. Well, this has a little bit, yeah, very, very tiny. You can barely see it. And I don't even know if that could just be the pixels around it. Um, but yeah, flat text. So we're kind of, giving it a little oomph when we add the extras to it. And I would say maybe our way is better because we're adding that little extra design flair to it. All right, so I think that we got everything on there. Um, I got okay. All right, do we say if you win, you want this one? Cool. All right, so I'm going to kind of back up a little bit just to see what I'm working on. See what stands out, what's getting a little bit lost here, what may need to be adjusted just a little bit. And like I said, you can get really hard on yourself, and I mean, it's pretty much done. I'm just looking for any excuse to tell myself I ain't done. If you do that, then we're kindred spirits. I want to. I like how the head is overlaying the image. My class of 2020 is behind the seniors. See everything there. I'm probably going to, let me go ahead and copy this drop shadow here. And I'm going to go ahead and add it to this leadership, this student ambassador, and first team. We're going to go ahead and paste that layer style on there. That way it pops off a little bit. Looks good. And this one here for Gulliver, let me go ahead and make that one gold. So it just kind of stands out in the center. That kind of, yeah, that makes it pop out a little bit. I don't know, y'all, what you think? What do you think? And paste the layer style. So I have a little drop shadow. It's very subtle, but you can see the drop shadow there on the text. Let's just drop shadow everything. Why not? I done got myself worked up enough to be okay with drop. Now, what I wouldn't do a drop shadow too, sometimes you do a dark text with drop shadow. I'm going to show you. That's not what you want. So if you do a drop shadow, most of the time I'll just change it to white to make it pop a little bit more. You could try the gold if you want to do the gold. It just doesn't give it a clean appearance to me. It kind of almost makes it start look a little like a elementary design. Let's see, we can put a drop shadow on. And when I say put a drop shadow, all I'm doing is copying and pasting. So I'm pasting my layer style. So now that, yeah, it's starting to pop out a little bit more. So 12th edition, let's go ahead. And I guess 12th edition because that's 12th grade. You can change that out if you want to. Yes, drop shadows give me life. They make me feel like something's popping out at me. All right, so what we'll do then, once I'm done with this, this is not the official template tutorial. So usually y'all know I make a tutorial whenever I release a template. So I will definitely have to. I'm trying to click on this little box here and it is not, there we go, dash rectangle. I'll say it was not letting me click on it. I'm going to make this rectangle a little bit smaller into the text. There we go. And then if I want to skewer this, I can skewer it both ways. So I can take it, I can skewer it down the middle, and you see that slight shift, and I can also skewer it down the center horizontally, and it fixed it to center in both of those directions. So I want y'all to keep that in mind. I'm just going to raise it just a little bit. So we're still overlapping, but I don't cover up the L in class. And I'm still feeling a certain type of way about this, but I'm about to see something. No, that's not doing it for me. Let me see if I change the font. That could be my problem. I mean, I'm sure I have a lot of problems, but I'm sure that could be the thing that's irking me at this moment. Because we have a couple of fonts that we're working on right now. Control T. That might have been what was irking my nerves. And then I'll change the spacing. Instead of 100, we'll put it back at 0. And now I can kind of Control T. I can make this a little bit taller. Make it look like it's a little bit different. And I need to get that off of his face. I think that's the other thing that's bothering me. I don't like to see stuff on people's faces. So under the chin is fine, but on their faces it bothers me. So I'm taking the name right now and I want to do both of these together. Let's Control T, bring that a little bit smaller. Oh, you know what? I forgot to link my text back to my layer mask here. You see there's a link between the layer mask and the text. If you don't have that linked and you try to move it, the layer mask will not move along with it. A little bit smaller. Okay, y'all let me know what y'all think so far. Give me that line. There we go. Give me that rectangle. Alt, click, and drag. I'm going to put that little bar there. And I want to make sure that nothing, anytime I have something that's separate text, I want to make sure it doesn't continue as a single line. That's why I brought this one down a little bit, because I felt like it was looking like it was part of that line of text, and that would be unintentional there. Okay, MVP still stands out. Grab that little rectangle, and I'm gonna paste my layer style and give that a little drop shadow. You get a drop shadow. You get a drop shadow. Everybody gets a drop shadow. There we go. You can't really see it on the darker part of the image, but I like to know it's there. I'm gonna try something real quick. I can always go back. Anytime you think you're messing up, you can always go back. I'm going to do first name darker and last name since it's larger. But even though I like the contrast of it, I'm going to see if I want to change that. Last name, let's go all out. Let's do a gradient. I said we weren't going to do it, but here we are. Let's do, we'll do black to white and choose linear. And then I think instead of black to white, I'm going to do the navy. What can I choose navy from? Because before I was choosing it from the... Oh, I have to choose a color stop. Duh. And it's not choosing the color I want. Let me see if I can grab it from this text. That's not quite it. Zoom in, zoom in. Get that blue. Pick it up. It's not picking up that blue. So I'll tell you what, if it doesn't pick a color that you want and you want to keep that blue, I'm going to right click, go to the text there, grab this blue, because it is a blue. I'm going to copy this hex code. Or as a matter of fact, did we already close out of the color code? We sure did. Let me see if I can go back. So let's use a navy blue for the hex code and copy that. Go back to Photoshop and paste that navy blue. Ooh, that navy blue. That's their hex code. Look how much magenta it is in there. That is navy blue, but it is very high in magenta. And a lot of times printing those colors end up with problems. But let's see, let's just bring that down just a little bit. Let's bring it down to 80. And it's still a navy blue, but it at least won't have that much magenta in it. I'm telling y'all, when you get those navy blues that have that high magenta content, they can be extremely difficult to print, sublimation wise. So now I have that blue. I'm going to go ahead and change this one to that blue. Okay, and then when I go to my gradient overlay now, I'm going to, instead of black, I'm going to click on this color stop, click on this color, and paste my code there. And now maybe I'll do the black drop shadow instead of the white. Let's see. No, actually, I think I still like the white better. But I'm losing up here at the top. I'm losing the top of my text there. So oh, okay, that works. Let me know what you feel about that. Okay, so I can go back to my history. I can keep things as they are or before I started changing anything. I think that's where I was before. Nope. Here. So how I had it previously or now. And like I said, for this name, I think it works better when you have like a longer name in the center. So we could even change how this whole thing kind of overlaps. Disable the layer mask. And we could just layer it normal. Or we can even take, like, let's say first name. Let's duplicate that layer. I'm going to show you what I like to do a lot. Now, this isn't what you would see on a magazine, but like first name, I like to do a script font. So let's do, I'm going to do pink script. And then I'm going to change the spacing here to 0. And I'm going to make sure it's not on all caps. So I'm going to let this have lowercase. And let's go ahead and get into it because this is my kind of thing here. So I like to do kind of like a handwritten font on top of a plain font. So I'll turn off the original one. And let's do a stroke of white. Ooh, I like that stroke of gold. I'm gonna leave that gold. So this is my little extraness. Let me know if you like the extraness or if we want to go back. And then maybe I'll make sure the United States Naval Academy goes on top. Or we can Control T for the first name, Control T, make it a little bit smaller because I don't want to cover up the United States. There we go. Extraness. How many vote for the extraness? You know I'm all about the extraness. So for here, preparatory school, I'm gonna shrink this a little bit now so it's not touching the gold. Let's go extraness. So oh, the other thing is for the Sports Illustrated, it looks a little, or Seniors Illustrated, it looks a little um flat. So we're gonna do, see, do I still have that? Yeah. Oh, it looked like it just came out a little bit. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna add a drop shadow. Put it in. What you think? And I can add the seniors below the illustrated, or yeah, seniors below the illustrated gives me less of that harsh drop shadow. So you still have the original, basically, if you want the name to go through it, which was my original concept, but sometimes you have to go with what you have. If I don't have a long enough name and it doesn't fit quite right, then I have to make a decision there. So where was my text? So this is our other option to do the cut through. And all I would do is bring that back. So that will be up to you what you want to see. And there's a script, there's a flag. I think the script just kind of gives it something to look at. That's my opinion. And then we don't need the space through it if we're doing the script because it has its own natural kind of contrast just because of the fonts. So Miss Natasha says she's here for the extraness, so extraness it is. Let's go and disable the layer mask. So if any of you liked it where the split was through it and maybe that worked better for the type of name that you're doing, that will work too. I'm going to bring this Naval Academy above the name because I know that drop shadow that's white, that glowing, is overshadowing on top of the U.S. Naval Academy. So I think we have it. I'm glad you made me do this, Natasha. I know I've been putting this off for the longest, and it's always the stuff that I put off that are great ideas, but it's just not like one of those things that's on that dreaded everything that I have to do list. But these usually end up being the best type of projects because I always want to put love into them. And if I feel like I'm going to half-ass it, I won't do it until I can sit down and officially put my love into it. So this is me putting love into it. Yes, this can be for a shirt. It can be printed. You can print these onto what is it? The yard sign things, the flags, the yard flags. This would be excellent for a yard flag. It has a lot of words and stuff on it, but you still see the pictures from far away. That's still good. But yeah, the hardboards would work for these. You just have to be careful if you're doing ones with the cutouts on the side, what you're gonna cut off. But yeah. Yes, exactly. Now you see. So when someone asks me to do a custom design, this I will do for you all because I know it's a template. I can package this and resell it. But typically, if I do custom design for someone, like I charge like I charge for logo design, because if I'm doing it for you one time and I can't reuse it again, I'm in the mode now where I have to be able to use it again in order for it to even make my brain want to do it. So this, we spent, what, 2 hours together? Yeah. And this is what I would consider, it's not a simple design because it had a lot of moving parts to it, but it's not an extravagant design. So this took me 2 hours to make. So I want y'all to think about that. Yes, the door covers. This would be great for a door cover. And if you need to change right now, this is like 8.5 by 11. You can scale this to print 13 by 19 and all of that good stuff. So you can print it on absolutely anything you can imagine. And this is the one design, you know where I hate boxes. This is the one design where I would leave the box look, because the box look makes it look like a magazine cover. And then, once you have, and I got to get rid of this pink thing here. See, I'm telling you, when I make it a color that drives me crazy, when I see it, I know to get rid of it. Okay. So yeah, like I was saying, this one I would leave the rectangle on. It looks extravagant to you. Well, we'll call it extravagant, and we'll call everything else super extravagant. I'll start doing some more of my templates, template build-ups for you all, because if it really helps you to see it from scratch, then I can start exposing that a little more. I used to do that back in the day when I first started, and y'all would just watch me and y'all wouldn't do the work. So when I do the template switch outs, y'all will do the template switch outs. But when I was doing it from the ground up, I would rather you spend your time and energy doing something that's going to make you money. Okay. So when I show you something, I'm generally trying to give you a foot in the door to go ahead and start making money out the gate. Take a template, go ahead and change out some words, change out your photos, update your colors, and out the door you have a pro level design. And that's why I want y'all to be confident with the designs. I want you to see a template and know if a customer says, "Can you do that?" You can literally show them my website. I don't care. I want y'all to understand this, that I'm in business for business's sake. You understand? And not saying that I don't do custom orders anymore, because I still do, but I really see more of my purpose in helping you all. So when you have these type of designs in your town and nobody else has them, I guarantee it's going to put you at a different price point than everyone else too. Sandra was going to ask me about that pink line. I'm glad y'all were going to bring that to my attention. I love when y'all pay attention. And sometimes I claim that I'm doing it for y'all to pay attention, but really I'm just not paying attention. Okay, so yeah, I want y'all to have these tools. I want you to excel. I love it when somebody told me that they use one template 90 times, 90 times to make money. That's what I want to hear. If you pay for it one time and it pays itself off the first time, the 89 other times are profit, I am here for it. Exactly, Diva. I'm here for it too. Yes. All right. So I think I gave y'all enough of a little pep talk today. I have some homework to do myself. I have to figure out who's going to do um, the ink trial with me. I'm really excited about that because we're going to basically do a mini class where we set everything up together, set up your screen, set up your Photoshop, set up your printers, and then put in the ink. And then we're going to test, well, we'll test what ink you have right now, your colors and everything. And then we're going to test the True Colors ink with the settings and everything I'll walk you through. And I want y'all to be honest with me. You hear me? Honest with me about what you feel about the product. Oh, the font for the Just Did It template. Okay, that font it's called Futura. I don't offer that font. I think it might even be a paid font, if I'm not mistaken. So let me make sure I'm not on any text right now. Okay, I'm on a rectangle, so when I change this, it shouldn't do anything. It's called Futura Shop X Bold Con Regular. And if you have the template, you'll see that that's the name of it. Um, but that's that kind of like close as I can get to it, just do it Nike font. And that font is, Let's see. Let's look it up. Like my daddy would say, every time I would ask a question, boy, I tell you, look it up. That would be the response I would get every single time. And I don't care if he knew the answer. I never know to this day. I never knew whether he actually knew the answer, but his answer was always look it up. Look it up. And if I don't instill anything else in you all, even if it's not a Photoshop bone in your body, you should be good researchers, because the things that I show you is also how to get what's in your head, how to figure out how to pull these things together. All right, so this is Futura Shop X bold, and let me make sure it's not condensed, because sometimes I have some extra stuff. X bold, yeah, it says condensed, so CON is condensed. Let me see if I can help y'all find it, because this is one of my fonts that if I did pay for it, this would have been one. Extra bold condensed. $35. So if I paid for that one, I would have paid for it. And extra bold condensed. Let me see if I can show you something else too. And this is not going to be the best way. Let me go back one more. Condensed. So if you find this free and it is a paid font, be aware that it's not really trustworthy most of the time. Okay, so I just want you to know that if you type in a font and you put free at the end of it, and you know that the reason why you put in free is because you couldn't find it free anywhere else, please understand that this might not be a good download. But I see one right here. I just don't know if that's going to, give you a little virus or whatnot, give you computer corona. I'm not sure. But if you hit that, if you download that Futura Condensed Extra Bold, that is your choice and your decision, okay? I'll tell you how to find stuff, but I'm not going to advocate downloading it. And here's the thing too, I sell my work, so I'm going to always tell you to do what's right. But sometimes you do what you want to do. How about that? So if that's what you want to do, that is an option for you, okay? Don't tell Jesus I told you that. All right. All right. So let me see what we got going on here. Y'all have any more questions or anything? Yes, I'm trying to tell you. Oh, okay. So when you clicked on it with Illustrator, that's because the smart object is vector. And that's probably why you couldn't find the name of it. That's a very good point. Now, the reason why I kept it vector like that is because I felt like I needed that font to stay like it was, so that that it could work properly in that template. But if you want to retype, um, definitely that font is what it is. For the name Amir, that font is Pink Script, and that is a free font. Latrice, that one's is called Pink Script. Now it's free for personal use, and it might have like characters that don't show up and that sort of thing. So all of these fonts that say free, check for yourself. Most of them say free for personal use. So that's why I can't give you fonts when I give you a template, unless it said it was free for commercial use, and then I packaged it up. But then y'all don't listen to how to download stuff anyway. Y'all want it to come how it comes. So this comes how it comes. And if you don't have the fonts, it's gonna warn you as soon as you open Photoshop, hey, you're missing font 1, 2, and 3. I want you to copy and paste, just like I showed you just now. Google it and put in the name of the font, and then put the word font after it. And then if you don't find it, I'm sure you'll find it. There's never been a font that I have not found, and in the history of finding fonts when I've bought templates in the past. So I know y'all can do it. All right, y'all crack me up too. All right, so anything else y'all want to see with this? Are we good with this? You think we're done? Because if I look at it longer, I promise you I will find something to do to it, and then I will get real frustrated, and I will not put it out for like 2 weeks, because I have to take like a leave of absence and separation from it, and then I'll have to come back to it. So I'm going to leave it where if y'all say it's good to go, then we are good to go. I'm just closing out some of these drop shadows that are making my layers list look so long. Just truncating them. Oh, the ink on the different software. Okay, so Sandra asked a great question about the ink, and I'm going to tell you this. Just like I've been telling some of you, if you're learning design, go ahead and learn with me through Photoshop. And some of you are affinity, but I'm telling you, if I do these classes, it's going to be so much easier for me to keep you all on the same track. So I would prefer, and I'm not going to prefer, I'm going to only do one mode of classes right now, and that's going to be Photoshop. So I can keep everybody on the same page, and I can graduate you all. So basically, after we have these three session steps. So it'll be 3 weeks, one session a week. For that 3 weeks, you're going to be at this beginner level. Then you'll graduate. Okay. And then we'll do an intermediate level. Then you graduate. And then we'll have advanced level courses where they're just one at a time advanced level courses. Okay. So I don't want to have to do that for two different modes, for Affinity and Photoshop. I'm sure I can learn almost any of these design softwares, whether it be GIMP, whatever else is going on. But I want you to understand the reason why I can learn any of those other programs is because I know Photoshop. Okay, so once you master the master of these classes, you master Photoshop. If you ever want to go back to a free program or an alternate program, you'll know how to do that. But I almost guarantee you that once you learn this solidly, this will be your basis for design. If nothing else, oh, the class. Now, this first class is going to be $20. I'm just doing it as a promo class, okay? So the future ones probably won't be $20 because for the attention that I'm going to have to give y'all, it's probably not going to be a $20 class. But this first one will, because I really want to give you all a chance, especially the ones who will not touch Photoshop yet or haven't touched it yet. I'm doing a couple things. I'm buying people Photoshop memberships. Up to 20 people. So I'm going to do 10 licenses and y'all will split those licenses tonight. And then I'm offering my first class for $20. And it's going to be a 2-hour session. Okay. And basically what we're going to do in that 2-hour session is set up our workspaces, go ahead and learn where the majority of these tools are, and we're going to edit a template together. Now, if you're far beyond editing a template, then that class may not be for you, but you're welcome. If it's $20 and you say, hey, I'll probably pick something up if I join it, then definitely still join it. I'm going to tell you, you need to have Photoshop and you need to have 2 screens, one to view the content and one screen to work off of. And I will make a video specifically when I figure out what the template's going to be that we work on, because I'm going to figure it out from what you tell me. So y'all go on NA Creatives and tell me exactly what you want to see created, whether it's one of my templates or it can be something that's not my template. This was not a template that I had before. So if Natasha said, hey, Shannon, yeah, it's been a while. You told me you was going to work on this magazine cover. Can you possibly do that? Then yes, I will consider that as well. It's not something I've done before, but I'm positive I can do it. Okay, so 2 things I need you to tell me: what you want to see done in the class, because you're going to have something done by the end of the class. We're not just playing around with stuff and, oh, this tool does this, everybody draw a circle. This tool does this, everybody draw a square. No, ma'am. We're going to actually have a final product. So when you come, you will know what the template's going to look like. You will have your images prepared. Okay, and we'll do remove BG together. So you're going to need some internet access. Obviously, if you're doing the class online, you're going to have internet access. So you don't have to pre-remove the image. We're going to do all those steps together. And you're going to take, if y'all want to do this, do y'all want to do this for the class? I don't know. If you want to do this for the class, screenshot this and put it up on there. I don't know what y'all want to do, but I'm going to follow what you want, okay? One project is going to be 2 hours, and we're going to walk you through everything from setting up your Photoshop, setting up your because y'all are telling me all the time, well, my screen doesn't look like yours. I don't see all of these tabs and all of these tools. Cool. I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. I'm going to show you how to print, what settings you need to have in order to print your proper colors. Now, this is for my ink. If you're using a different ink, you may or may not find that these settings are successful, but I definitely want you to at least try it. All right, so this Thursday, tell me what time and what you want to see. Two things, two simple things I need from you, and then we'll have a super jam-packed, action-packed, design-packed Thursday class, okay? Sandra, what's wrong? What's on your list? Oh yeah, okay. So I tell you what, the obituary programs, y'all said y'all want to learn that, put it up there for the class. I got you. I'm just telling you, they're at this point, they are not templates right now. They are me haphazardly designing stuff. So what I have to do is I have to rethink from how you all see the templates, and I have to organize the information, make it clean, make you know what to click on and how it's organized. So let's do it. If y'all want to do the obituary template, and it doesn't have to be a funeral program. It doesn't have to be a funeral program. You can take the program and you can make it like I do my grandmother's, my grannies. I don't know why I can say grandmothers. I never call her grandmother. My granny's church programs all the time, every single year. And every year she blows everybody else's church programs out the water. And I'm talking about from out of town and all. And she's so proud of her designs. So if you want to have that type of effect, we'll work on that. Whatever it is, just let me know what you want to see done. Okay. After 7, it more than likely will be after 7. I'm thinking 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or even 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But because it's a 2-hour class, I don't want to say 9 because some of you are here at 11 and other ones probably checked out about an hour ago and was ready to go to bed. So y'all let me know what time. 2-hour class. We're going to need 2 hours. Well, Sandra, I'm excited too. I've been putting this off for a little while. I wanted to make sure y'all were confident in me, you were confident in yourselves, and y'all will be ready to roll when I start putting classes out. Okay. So please believe after this, the 2-hour classes are probably going to be $60. I'm not gonna lie to you because I have to put a lot of energy into them. But I'm definitely gonna do at least a couple of them at $20 just so y'all get in there, pull yourself into it, just be brave, get into it, and then once you start touching stuff that I'm telling you to touch, you're like, oh, that wasn't that scary. All right. All right, Natasha, she bakes cakes. All right. All right, so I think 8 is probably that good, like, y'all can make it till 10, but at 11, we be pushing it. And I know we're used to pushing it because we do it for our craft all the time. So we're talking at Eastern Standard Time. Let's say 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Newbies, don't be scared. Y'all see how I'm talking to y'all right now? That's exactly how I talk when I teach. I'll kid a little bit, but I'm gonna let you know that I got you the whole way. Okay. So Thursday, 8 is great. I'm gonna go ahead and just put 8 o'clock, and then anybody that can't make that they'll complain underneath it. I know they will. Oh, 8 o'clock, it's too late. Maybe we'll do a different session. I'll even consider doing a daytime session. So this will be first class. We'll figure out what we're gonna do. 8 p.m. sounds like it's a pretty good consensus right now. And I hope y'all like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff so that these little YouTubeish coins come in and sprinkle in on me in this near future. I'm actually starting to see a little bit in YouTube picking up those, what is it called, AdSense and stuff. So y'all watching the ads, y'all have been honoring me and supporting me in all kind of ways. So I want to say thank you, and it does not go unnoticed. So I'm grateful, very grateful. All right, love. So I'm gonna let you go. It's 11 o'clock, and I'm gonna be up all night. Max, I'm going to have a link on the website. Erica is probably gonna post for me. She'll post a post saying that, hey, the link is up for the class, and it will have limited slots. I know that for a fact. So it's first come, first serve. Once the slots are filled out, we won't be able to go any more than that, and I'll have to figure out what the capacity is going to be for that. So this is going to be fun for all of us. And I'm the type of person too now. And I'm not saying this because I want people to come on there talking about some refunds. Because if you ask for a refund, best believe you won't be able to get another class. But I want you, the newbies, to be rest assured. If you feel like you learned nothing, you did not get your $20 worth, I want you to contact me after the class politely, because some of y'all be real entitled, and I treat people a little bit different when I hear that entitlement. But just say, hey, I really didn't learn anything. I know for a fact that Photoshop is not for me. I feel like, I appreciate your time, but it was a waste of my time. If you tell me that at the end of a 2-hour session that you do with me, I will give you your money back. Okay, but definitely don't ask to ever be in one of my classes again, because I won't be tried like that a second time. But I'm just letting you all know that's how confident I am, not in me, but that's how confident I am in you. Okay. Yes, Amiga, I'm gonna make this a template too. That's why I'm working on it. No refunds. And here's the thing, Natasha. I want people, there's so many people out there that are really scared, and some of you can attest to this. Y'all have been so afraid to even touch Photoshop until you started playing with these templates. And some of you didn't even do the templates. You're just watching the videos, and it's giving you courage to go in there and do some of the things that I'm doing. And that's what I want people to see, is that this is a tribe and that we're all learning together. I'm still learning. Y'all are teaching me stuff as we go too. But I want people to understand that this is a safe place to grow and to learn, and to not get so fed up and discouraged and ready to quit. So if what I have to do is tell you that there's a one-time refund policy, I don't mind saying that, because that's how confident I am that you're going to learn something. And you will feel horrible if anybody that ever tries me feels horrible for trying me. Like, if you really got something out of it and you said, now I need my money back, don't worry about it. You got it. I get my blessings. Can't nobody take what's mine, okay? If I give you back what's yours, it wasn't mine to begin with. And I guarantee you that they would have basically put their foot in their mouth. So I ain't worried about it. Okay. So I'm excited for you all. I'm excited for me. This is definitely what I was born to do. I was born to teach. So exactly, that karma is a real one. Okay. Yes, Latrice, I'm happy to hear that you go to Photoshop more than you ever have. That's what's up. And for those of you who don't do Photoshop and you just need something to print out of, I'm going to tell you, I would buy Photoshop. I would buy one Photoshop seat. Let me tell you how I have things set up. I have one computer that's connected to all my printers that I print from. Okay, so I can make sure that my monitor is calibrated right. Whatever file that I pull up, when it shows up on that monitor, it's calibrated a certain way so that my lights aren't too bright on my screen. It is calibrated perfectly to see in the environment in the same light. I don't move that laptop around. It has the proper color settings to print from Photoshop. If you don't use Photoshop for anything else but printing your graphics and utilizing the built-in color management power that it has, somebody remind me to do a test. Printing from Photoshop, printing from Affinity, printing from Microsoft Paint, or any other program I might choose, some kind of free program. And I want you to understand the power of color management, the power of color consistency. When you are making money for yourself, it is so important to realize how much time you spend troubleshooting something and trying to get something that you would have paid for, right? So I definitely want to be able to show you those things. So yeah, Affinity, I'll print from Affinity. I'll print from Photoshop. I can even print from Paint, and some of you right click and you print straight from the Windows program. That scares me because I used to do that for so many years when I was using Cobra ink back in the day. I would right click and I would just print straight from, because it would give me better results. Was it Cobra? I don't know. It was Cobra. I've tried so many inks over the years. I can't lie to you. I probably tried all of them except for Cosmos. I haven't tried Cosmos, so I can't speak on that one. But when I would print so many different ways, and then I realized that, hey, my golds have more red or less red when I'm printing this way, or my blue, it print my golds right, but my blues look purple when I print this way. If I find one more bluish purple, when I know I want a navy or a royal, I used to throw a fit, an all out fit, because you don't know until you press it, right? And then you have a whole team of 30 shirts that you're doing, 30 baseball moms that their color is royal blue and silver. And when you go press that thing and it looks purple and you already have those 30 prints done, and y'all know how slow those 7710s and 7720s prints. Hello. I can't do it anymore. So that's why I've been, relentlessly trying to find colors that I find are true. That's why I named the product True Colors. Um, because I feel like it's going to give you best representation without using a RIP software, as long as you're printing from Photoshop. And then we're going to print from some other programs too. Was Ink Expo? Yeah. So I'll check these things out. I'm listening to y'all. I'm listening to your problems. I'll be watching y'all complaining. Your complaints are the best things to me. Complaints to me are uh, basically problem solving starts. Yeah, that purple looking blue, we're going to work on that, okay? Yeah, printing from your phone has its own. You see, what we have to understand about printing colors, about printing anything, is that there's so many factors. It's not just the file itself. It's the monitor, the device that you're sending, the program that you're using to send the information. It's the printer itself. It's the paper itself. Did you know that the paper could affect how your colors come out? The paper can. And of course, the settings that you're choosing, whether you're printing on, whether you're setting it to premium presentation matte. I don't do that anymore. Premium presentation matte was the main reason why my blues were purple. I don't do that anymore. That's been several years since I figured that out. So I print plain paper. I don't even do plain paper high quality. I just do plain paper. I do yeah, well, I have it here. I'll show you my print settings. And then we'll do a whole video just on this stuff too. So don't get so worked up right now. But this one is on one of my wireless printers right now. So I'll show you my Innate Lab plain max quality is what I call it. So this is my 13 by 19. My paper type is plain. My quality, I have to go to more settings and crank that thing all the way up. Let me show you the difference. If you choose high, that's one thing. If you crank it up, go to more settings, see where high is, you going above high, you go in the highest quality. The other thing that I do is I go to more options. I come over here to color correction, custom, go to advanced, and do no color adjustment. No, I don't want my printer to adjust my colors, period. Okay, period. No color adjustment, because I want Photoshop to do the work. I don't want the printer to try to figure out what to do. And if you have this on any other mode except for no color adjustment, you're going to have issues, guaranteed, between your printer and Photoshop fighting for who gets to decide the color. Okay, so no color adjustment there. Make sure you don't have a print preview on. If you have a print preview, then it will definitely, and I think you can select that on your printer. I don't see many people do print preview these days. Turn that mess off. If you have print preview, that's going to override your Photoshop settings. Turn it off. So yes, so we're going to do this. We're going to make this a live experiment. So like my daddy says, I can show you better than I can tell you, because I've been telling, but I got to show you, okay? So yeah, I have mirror image on. I take high speed off. And I want to say that that is it. That is it. So when I go here, I say, okay. But then for color handling, typically y'all are going to see this when you first do it. Printer manages colors. But guess what? You just told it no color management for the printer, right? The reason why you did that is because you want Photoshop to remember how to manage the colors. And see, it says up here, remember to disable the printer's color management in the print settings dialog box. So it's giving you a warning to disable the printer's color management option. The printer profile that I use is Epson IJ Printer 07. If I ever find another printer profile that works better, I'll let you know. But that's been my ride or die, and I've been good with that. Yes, we will do this on Thursday. Absolutely. This will be the last thing that we do. And when I tell you I want for y'all to leave on Thursday, you have something printed out. You might even be ready to turn on your press that night at 10 o'clock at night. Like, you know what? Everything that I did today, I want to print it out and I want to see it on something. That's cool. So, because by the time we finish on Thursday night, you will have something to print. If I have to go over, I'll go over to make sure that we're going to get this on point, this first session. Okay? Cool, cool, cool. All right. So, oh yeah, and then I choose rendering intent. I choose perceptual, or typically I choose relative colorimetric. But you can see what these do. They do something very minor between the two of them, but relative colorimetric is what I use. And then I do check on black point compensation. So we'll go over that again. And when we go over it, you're going to be going over it with me, doing the steps as I do the steps. And then if you have a problem, you'll raise your hand and I can see your screen and we'll fix your problem from there. Okay? But make sure, you have your some kind of refreshment. Don't try to be eating or nothing, but have you something to drink so you can kind of stay seated, stay focused. Make sure, I try to do it late enough at night so you can put the kids in the bed if you have kids, and we can kind of focus and really get our time in, okay? This is our time. All right, loves. Well, I said I was going to let y'all go about 16 minutes ago. So I'm going to let you go. And I will see you all tomorrow morning in the group. I'll be announcing some things, okay? So thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate y'all. Good night and bye.